Welcome, my friends. Welcome. It is Hypnosis with Marianne, and today I'm going to be talking about an interesting niche topic called how to break a hypnotic seal. I was already planning on making this video uh, because it was in the list of thumbnails that I had pre planned last week. But then today is Emancipation Day, and so I thought that this would be actually like a really appropriate video to stream today to celebrate Emancipation Day. Lots of people don't know about what a hypnotic seal is. Oh, actually, first, before I go too deep into this, I just want to say that I'm going to be talking about themes of control, manipulation, and abuse. If any of that stuff triggers you, I want you to just be informed that that's what we're going to talk about and to decide what you're okay with dealing with right now. If you believe that you're suffering from this thing that I'm going to be talking about and you need some help, you can definitely contact me. I'm going to put a link to that in my bio or in the thing below. But yeah, so trigger warning, and we're going to be talking about abusive influence, and we're also going to talk about what to do what to do if you believe that you've experienced this, what that can look like, and also how to protect yourself. Okay, so hypnotic seal is a term. I believe it arose in the erotic hypnosis community. People that have kinks, they like to submit or they like to dominate. And then the hypnotic seal is this idea that you can implant the suggestion that only I can be the hypnotist, and then no one else can hypnotize you. Only I can do this. So the first thing to remember is that um, whenever you accept a suggestion, like you can always accept or reject a suggestion. So if you just keep that in mind, the person that gave you that suggestion is like partly responsible for it, but then also when you accept that, when you internalize that, that's like the part two of that. Nonetheless, it still can happen, and I've seen it happen even outside of the context of erotic hypnosis as well. I've also seen what this could look like if somebody goes into a hypnosis session and the hypnotist suggests something that's just like wildly incompatible with the person's belief systems or what they believe is best for them, and then that can cause kind of a um, disturbance, right? So to kind of unwind this little pickle, I'm just going to put this out there, whether this is something that happened to you or whether you are a hypnotist or whether you're seeking out a hypnotist to work with this with you. To just remember that those suggestions are simply suggestions. You can actually think of them as thought forms. So if you think about the thought as a thought form, it's like an object, right? If that was like an object that was put into your mind, you can remember a time before that was in place, and you can simply go back to the time before it happened, go back to the time when it occurred, and just lift it out of there. You can just remove it. It's almost like rewinding a tape and then re-recording over it, right? If you could, or even if you could imagine erasing something from a chalkboard, it could just be simply like wiping a slate clean. Now, if it is at kind of a somatic level, like option 3, way to go about it would just be to suggest. I don't even know if there's a way at the conscious level that this could happen, but we are just imagining now that, setting up an ideomotor response, which is a body signal, right? So when you set up a body signal that is suggesting that something is occurring at the somatic level rather than the conscious level, could Could be like putting an arm up in the air and letting it lower only as quickly as you can remove any of those suggestions that don't agree with you. Or you could also do it if you want to do a little bit easier of a gesture. You could have the hand. This is like something that you can do as a self hypnosis thing. You can just put your index finger up so that it is raised in the air. And then, just going into that meditative state, allow that finger to go down only as quickly as you can reset your nervous system. I'm trying to think if there's like anything else that you need to say about that. That was like a super quick 5-minute overview of how to remove a suggestion. I've had people come in that actually experienced what I would call like hypnotic trauma, hypnotic abuse, by actually having positive thinking forced upon them when they were kids. It was almost like um, denying their agency, denying their reality, denying that there were like systemic things that were going on that, like, yeah, real things that they were experiencing, like racism or poverty or that sort of thing. And trying to solve that with positive thinking was a little bit like, mm, it was just a little bit harmful. It was a little bit toxic to do that. Um, and so being able, I feel so honored that if somebody experienced that kind of harm, that they would then put their trust in the hands of another hypnotic helper after that experience and be willing to try again. But it is probably the kind of thing that if you experienced something that happened in hypnosis, that hypnosis would also be the modality that could solve it. um let's see. I went through that really quick. I realized that it would be kind of like if you're a practitioner, that would be, or if you're experienced with self hypnosis, those would be two things that you could try if you're working with this particular issue. If you need more one on one help with this, then for sure you could also drop a comment in the comments, and I will make another video. Or you could reach out to me via one of my links, and I will give you a consult or whatever seems appropriate for the situation. But to just kind of conclude this thought, the most important thing to remember is, as with curses or anything of that nature, hypnotic control, especially hypnotic control that we experience in a dynamic like that, um, so much of it is perceptual. So much of it is perceptual. That doesn't mean that it's any less real, but we can change the way that we see these things. We can change the way that we experience these things. There are ways to work with them to kind of undo the knots that can be done with any sort of hypnosis gone awry or hypnosis misused. So, putting that out there, I hope that helps. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or